Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Taurus. So, Taurus, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, Taurus, it feels like things are on track. Things are happening exactly as they're meant to. But from what I'm seeing here, it feels like there is a connection with somebody that either you looked up to, or you admired, or you respected them in a way. They are proving to be limited in their knowledge, right? Or at least it feels like they're trying to impose their truth over yours. And this is something that you're not going to allow, basically. It's like you are continuing on your path, and it's like you're renegotiating, maybe that's the right word, renegotiating the terms of the agreement, the terms of this contract with this one specifically, because it feels like you want to go beyond what they are capable of going, at least at this moment, right? Maybe they're not even aware, because I feel like they are seeing themselves as very smart, very capable, very conscious perhaps. But where you want to go in seeking your truth, it feels like it's farther down the line than they are aware that they are capable of going, at least right now. Okay, so we're beginning with the train on track, right? Which is the Six of Pentacles. This is what I heard from this card. So the opening card being this train on track type of message, it feels like you are moving, right? It feels like you are exactly like in the right lane. You are moving in the right speed. You are doing the work that needs to be done to keep on moving, to keep seeing progress. And it's interesting because let me show you the last card, which is another six, but is the Six of Wands, which talks about, a victory, like conquering something that that whatever type of arduous work or labor or investment, not just of your money or your resources, but also of your time, right? Your presence. It's like that you can. I'm trying to see a word that fits best here, because the victory that I'm seeing here, it's almost like the type that is independent from anybody else helping you, right? Especially somebody that feels like they know it all. At least this is how they're presenting themselves. The King of Swords here, well, first of all, this card to me, it always symbolized like this very intelligent, knowledgeable, very intelligent being, right? Somebody that is interested in growing intellectually, right? A very maybe a very logical mind, but also like a very persuasive, a very interested, curious mind. But for some reason, it's almost like they are crowning themselves in all of that knowledge, right? Or what they say that they are seeking, right? Because they are seeking the truth as much as you are, but yours are boundless, or yours are more infinite, or less conditioned by the ego, by the self, right? By this need to be crowned the smart one, or to be recognized or acknowledged as the intelligent one. So there is a shift here that happens because you want to keep moving, and they seem to be showing up here saying, but what about my opinion? You haven't asked me what I think of this, right? Especially because the Six of Pentacles can be associated as the card that talks about relationships, right? The agreement between two people, the contract, the bond. So it feels like, in the past, perhaps the agreement that you had with this one was that they always took part in deciding something, or moving on with a decision, or whatever it is. But this King of Swords today is, it's almost like this self righteousness, right? This sense of, but I know better. I know what to do. I know what decision to make, right? It's like they're showing up here as maybe offended, right? That you didn't ask for their opinion, that you didn't communicate that you were moving on, that you perhaps want to renegotiate the terms of this contract, but it's almost like their opinion is not going to like change your mind, basically, right? There's nothing that they can do, that they can say, that they can express that is going to change your mind. It feels like things are on track for you. Just a second, sorry about that. So going back to this King of Swords and this renegotiation of the relationship, right? It feels like they are pretty much offended that they're not a participant in this decision of moving on, even though perhaps for them the agreement was perfect, right? Uh like there aren't like the needs for change. It's like in their vision, in their opinion, things are fine because they see themselves as already like, the top of the hierarchy in a sense, right? They are in a very high position, at least in relationship to you. But with the Four of Swords coming next, this is the card that, first of all, was giving me the word a standstill, right? So it's like you're putting them in a standstill position. It's not like you aren't going to relate ever again to them, but right now they're being put in the freezer, right? This is what I'm seeing. Well, not literally, but it's like you are containing the influence of their thoughts, of their opinions, of their visions, right? Or their side of the truth, or their understanding of this circumstances, whatever you are deciding to go on and to move on with, right? So it feels like they have a lot to say. They are probably very persuasive, but you are restricting the area that they can influence you. Essentially, you're putting up the fences, right? And saying no more. It's like in this relationship, you cannot have an opinion in everything. It's like I'll decide what is going to be useful or not, or when you're welcome to express your opinion with me, right? So there is a lot that is happening with the Four of Swords in terms of just standing up for yourself, but first in a very mental way. It's like you're deciding that their truth, their opinion is not as relevant or necessary for you, right? And what it does is that it creates for you this sense of groundedness with the Four of Pentacles coming next. So you see how the two swords are being bracketed by the two pentacles, right? And you, Taurus, you come with the earth, right? So they come with the words, maybe with the like trying to talk you into something, trying to convince you about something, right? Something that they see as better, right, in their opinion, in their vision. But for you, it's almost like, because right now what I'm seeing here, it's almost like going separate lanes, right? It's like you are going down your path, you are in your lane, and they seem to be like in a parallel lane, right? And this is how the renegotiation of the terms are going to be, because it's like here you're able to do this not just mentally or spiritually or energetically, right, with the swords, but you manage to do so physically. So either you get like, a physical distance from this one, or you restrict yourself saying you can no longer come here, right? It's like, this is my space. These are my rooms, my walls. This is my protection. So you are no longer welcome here. Yes, I admired you, but now you are not just in the standstill mode, right? It's like maybe you, Taurus, you needed some time to think things through about how much this person's opinions were really influence you, right? And so now that you're not allowing that anymore, it's like enough time has passed that the blockage that you have put, at least mentally, or like just to um listen to them, right? Maybe you're not even listening to them anymore. You don't have, energy or time or um it's like need really to listen to their opinion, right? So it feels like from a very temporary situation, it becomes something definite. It becomes something that it's like that this is the new way to go. And something interesting that I was seeing with this lineup, so this king is being followed by two fours, and you have the six. So it's going beyond the realm that they can access, right? So first thing, you're saying no longer here. You're not welcome anymore here. This is my space. This is my mental space. This is my physical space. This is my home, my office, whatever it is. You're no longer going to enter this realm, right? Or this room, because you're moving beyond that. So it's almost like you need to create this boundary, stand your ground, be very firm, right? Spiritually, but also physically. And then you know that because they cannot trespass that, you know that you're free to go because they're staying put, right? With the Five of Pentacles. So this is them here. This is how maybe when you say you cannot come here again, everything that they want is to go there, right? Because usually when I see the five and the four lined up like this, the four to me represents the outline. So it's kind of like the walls of a room, right? So the physical space itself. But then the five, it's like entering the room, is going inside, is inhabiting the physical space. And this is what I feel like they want to do. It's like the more you say no, you're forbidden here. It's like you cannot come in, right? It's like this is just creating this desire in them, maybe because it's like you have instigated them now that they cannot know, or now that they cannot access what's going on in your private space or in your mind, because you are not sharing your thoughts with them, right? It's like they're more intrigued, they're more curious, they want to be there, right? It's almost like they're saying, but I want to go in there. But the funny thing is that you are already here with the six, right? So the moment that you say, okay, you cannot come here with the four, and they say, but I want to go there exactly because you're not allowing me to, you're saying, but I'm out of here. So in a way, it's very smart of you. It's like whatever you're doing mentally and even physically, you're creating the desire to kind of trap them in a place that they cannot follow you. You know what I mean? It's almost like they are not even aware that there is a renegotiation of the contract, because it's like they cannot go beyond that, right? And it's like you want more, you want freedom, you want movement. You are seeking your truth with the Ace of Swords. They are, it's almost like maybe what's going on in their mind is like speculating right now how you are going to find your truth without them, right? Because maybe they feel like, maybe they think they are so smart, they are so intelligent, that in a way they were the only option through which you could find your truth. You know what I mean? It's almost like maybe they always showed you, the sources for like books or movies, or giving you like the way to go, right? Showing you the train track and saying go this way, go that way, right? Always giving you the direction. But now that you are free from their filter, right? Because it's like the crown is creating the filter of their ego or their personality, or even like the need for their mind to be the one saying do this, do that, go this way, go that way. So because now they're not the ones in charge of this direction, you're free to go. You're free to explore your truth, because you can go far beyond what they could ever go. But it's almost like it took you a while to realize that, right? It's like at first you needed to create this mental blockage or mental like protection, I want to say, right? It's like placing them in this standstill category. So it's almost like what is that word? Um Not ghosting them, maybe that's the expression. It's like just not answering to them essentially, right? Just allowing yourself to have some time to think for yourself, right? Not depending on their thoughts, right? So here, the way that you do so, maybe you don't even realize how smart you've been until the point that they are trapped in the very place that you told them that they couldn't go, and they say, but that's the reason why I want to go. And also, the beautiful thing about you, Taurus, and how you're doing this, maybe because you have thought about it, right? And this was the only way perhaps that you could effectively distance yourself from them and have this freedom of your own truth, of your own thought, of your own pursuit, right? The pursuit of truth is no longer going through their filter, going through their mind, going through their influence. But here, what you're leaving them behind in a place that it was almost like it was built for this specific situation, because this is where they can find integrity to also find their truth. I want to say that maybe that's the reason why there was a relationship in the, in the beginning, because both of you were partners in a sense. It's like you were walking beside one another, right? There was kind of like this resonance because both of you were seeking truth. But, and maybe that's the reason why you did admire them, right? That's the reason why you looked up for them, to them, why you were, very honestly and openly seeking their opinion, right? Considering what they said as also like something significant. But now that you see that you're going beyond and that they are staying, it's not like they have been, let's say, not pursuing the truth. It's just that their mindset is still very limited, right? Maybe because they need this approval or even like validation that they are smart, right? Maybe they need you to tell them how much they are like this intelligent, very conscious being. Otherwise, they cannot see themselves as that. It's like they need the crown to realize that they are smart. You don't need the crown. It's like you're seeking truth either way. It's like it's not going through the filter of your mind or your ego or your personality self. You are seeking the truth, right? So, but where you're leaving them is a place where they can find integrity, because this is what the Five of Pentacles is representing to me here. So, the moment that you trap them, let's say, in a place that at first you tell them that they cannot access, you give them the chance to feel like they are exactly in the right place to find themselves, right? It's like realize maybe how they have been driven by this need to wear the crown, right? Or to receive the acknowledgement from you or from anybody who, sees them as this knowledgeable one. It's like in finding their integrity, they can finally find truth, but not the filtered truth that right now they are pursuing and that is limiting them, but rather the type of truth that you are seeking. So it's almost like you're doing two things at once. You are distancing yourself and making sure that this person knows that they are no longer influential, right, to the same degree as they were before, that the relationship is changing, right? The agreement is changing. But also, in doing so, you're giving them the chance to find the truth, which seems to be what they want as well. It's just that you're doing this by your example because you are going after it. right? Because we're ending here with the Six of Wands, as I said, and it seems like it's like you're going for this whatever it takes, right? No matter if it is, a very hard battle, right? It's like you know that in a way victory is guaranteed because things are on track. So you are moving exactly as you should, or exactly as you know that is right for you to go beyond what you have seen of the truth so far, right? It's not like whatever they have showed you was not the truth. It's just that it was a limited truth, a truth that was being filtered by their ego, right? So, in just taking this time to stop, you know, connecting with them or listening to their opinion and all of that, you realize that not just you can trust your truth, your mind, your instinct to move and to continue, just moving forward, because this is what you're doing here, right? The train is moving, you are moving on, you are moving beyond what they can access. You are going for your victory, and your victory seems to be blooming, right? Because the lineup between these two, and it's beautiful because it's the opening and then the ending, at least here in the first part. It's like, here is the seed. You know that the seeds are there. You know that you are walking a path that contains the seed of truth that they also know that they can find, but it's almost like they need to take some time off, maybe for them to feel grounded the same way that you are doing right now, right? So, but you're not teaching this. That's interesting because it's like they showed up offended, perhaps because it's kind of like this dynamic, right? The maybe in their way of seeing things, right, in their perspective of this relationship, they saw themselves as the knowledgeable one, the teacher to a student, right? But now that the student doesn't need the opinion of the teacher, it's almost like they don't know who they are, so they need to do this the same way that you did, right? It's like, go think for yourself. And now they are thinking for themselves. Or if they want to take this chance, if they want to pursue this the same way that you're doing, because I do feel like it's like in a way they need you more than you need them, right? Because it's like they cannot see the Ace of Swords freely the same way that you do, right? It's like they need somebody to acknowledge their crown, their intelligence. So you're moving ahead, you know that you can go beyond. In doing so, you're showing them that it's possible, right? It's possible to win over this battle in, this pursuit of the truth. So you're taking the steps, right? Because the bottom of the deck is the Two of Pentacles. You are taking the steps that perhaps they didn't even know that you were ever going to take, and you're doing it, right? In a very bold but very grounded way, in a very decided way, especially because, you know, it seems like here you're very conscious, aware, and very determined to go through this path because you know that the flowers are going to bloom. So like the blooming is kind of like the victory, but it's more than that. It's like the sign that you have walked your path, right? So it's bringing now I hope I say this correctly, but it's bringing now that phrase that is like, walk the walk, not the talk, talk the walk the talk. Oh my God, I hope I get this right. But it's like they have been talking the walk, not walking the walk, if that makes sense. You're walking the walk, right? I hope that makes sense, Doris. So I am going to pull more cards for you, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find a link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.